that how we're gonna surpass God? Is by throwing a 14-year-old in a Lamborghini and being like, "Go win the race, kid."
So much more than fun in games at the Cartoon Cabal. Beyond what's just in the name at the Cartoon Cabal. See just at what cost comes fame at the Cartoon Cabal. So much more than fun in games at the Cartoon Cabal.
Welcome to the Cartoon Cabal. It's where we feast on all of the episodes of Neon Genesis Evangelion to the horror of everyone around us. That's not actually this episode. That was what, 1 or 2 or 3 episodes ago, but you know, the image sticks, doesn't it?
We're gonna eat you. And actually, there's a little bit of like cannibalistic themes that start coming up.
Oh yeah, that's all still here. Just that raw one Ava's eating an angel scene is I guess still stuck in my head, but that's not where we are. We are doing Ray 3 today, which, you know, that this one should be Ray 2, shouldn't it? Because Ray 3 just gets like a minute of screen time. Ray 2 gets most of the screen time.
If I'm being honest, I was surprised that they even imply Ray 3, because I figured we were at Ray 17 or 18 by now. Yeah,
you know what threw me off? I guess it was maybe Ray 2. Where they showed the like 7 ones like in astral space or whatever. Like that made me think. I think we said at the time, oh, it must be number 7, right, or something like that. But,
yeah, not number 2. Like, so we actually got the entire story here. That seems like we're never going to get the complete story.
So the first one got murder suicide. The second one, see this episode, and now we're on 3. Okay, and I don't know. I guess you could count Shinji's mom as being I mean, that's the original, not a clone. But when do you start counting?
Does Shinji's mom look like Ray? Like, is it literally Ray?
She had a different hair color.
But it's his mom clones. It's not like, again, I'm a dumb American, so you really have to spell this out for me. I don't pick up on the Japanese nuance.
We have to spell it out for Misato as well. She doesn't get half of the stuff anymore, right?
I feel vindicated, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this is Matt here. We're already talking about it. It's Paranoid American over there. Missing the inferences as an American does. But no, I mean, some of it's inference and some of it is just intentionally vague, you know?
I also feel like as we're getting to the end here that I've got opinions that I'm forming about how much they're doing intentionally and how much is last minute on the subway on the way to work. Oh, maybe the ending does this. No, it's going to do this. And then
that's how the series ends. There's there's a complimentary ending. So they literally did that. And I'm sure people were literally, I mean, what you said wasn't a joke. That was probably literal reality.
You can feel it. You really feel like a weird, I don't even want to say rushed, but it's just things just change. All of a sudden you're watching a different show just after an episode starts.
You can get things done on Japanese trains. Hey, those binaural albums, I do a lot of the work for those on trains, you know, to and from work. What else? Yesterday. Oh, and I've been recording kid songs recently. The coworkers are teaching real little kids, and they've been requesting kid songs. They keep coming out like overly psychedelic because I guess that's how my brain works. Oops.
Psychedelic's better than psychotic, I guess, when it comes to kid songs.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, so this is another one. I don't know why these files work this way, but this is another one where for some reason it started me in the middle of the episode and I went back and watched it. And then I watched the entire episode again. So I did watch it correctly. But yeah, that's a problem on my own computer or file or whatever. So sometimes I'm watching, wow, that episode was real short. Oh, because I haven't seen all of it. That's why. So I'm having weird, like, non-linear viewings of some of these episodes, which kind of works for this series in a weird way.
You wouldn't be able to tell if it was doing that or not. And are you doing director's cut for all the ones available?
The one today, Ray 3, I did both versions. Last time I was saying that I thought that actually the director's cut was the worst version because it kind of screwed up Asuka. This, and spoiler for the one after, the director's cuts are fine. Watch the director's cut. You get a few bits of better animation. It gets slightly naughtier. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the cutscenes tend to be like little flashback scenes and things, but those are fun. Those are likable. Except for the Asuka ones that were thrown in the director's cut. Didn't like those.
From the previous one, you mean?
Yeah, from the previous one. This one's fine. Yeah. Yeah, this one, no problem. Watch the director's cut.
Okay, so this one's got a whole bunch of different things going on. The one that stood out to me the most that I wanted to just talk about was this episode comes out in 1996, and Asuka is playing a Sega Saturn, and the Sega Saturn didn't come out until like late 1994. So there was a year that they were working on this that I guess that everyone knew what a Sega Saturn was. And I was just thinking, even with all of the angel fighting going on, even with the end of the world, somehow Sega was able to continue production of their home arcade entertainment systems despite
It could be a
everything going
retro
on.
one. I mean, I can go to the used store now and get even, you can buy new versions. I think there's
Right, but I'm saying if the Saturn only came out in late 94 and this episode is airing in 96, then it just seems like there was really no downtime for Sega in this fictional universe where the world basically ends. They still had time to continue producing and even making the Sega Saturns and distributing them to the point where a year later it's being played by Asuka.
Just to be clear, she's playing in 2015, isn't she? This is Seika, SECA, not GA. However, the Sega company actually is funding a fair amount of this show. So,
what do you mean the console in the show said SECA?
Yeah, it changed.
I mean, whatever. It can say whatever it needs to. As soon as she played it, I recognize the controller first of all.
Everyone does.
Controller. And then I was like, oh, that's a Sega Saturn. Of course it's a Sega Saturn.
Yeah, the geeks watching this in 1996 were certainly seeing that, So,
technically it's retro, though, because she's playing a 20-year-old console at this point.
But it's 15 years after the apocalypse, so that actually tracks.
Okay.
If you just happen to find an old system. Hey, if someone hands me an old Super Nintendo now and some games, I'm playing that thing,
Yeah, if you can find a way to hook it up to a TV.
I have a TV I can hook it up to. My only working console is still a Wii, original Wii, not Wii U. I don't have Switches. I just have a Wii. And the games are all in Japanese because I bought it in Japan. So if you want to play an RPG, you're kind of screwed.
Okay, well, you're set up for the end of the world, just like Asuka is. But Asuka's also crashing out, so she's playing.
Well, she's in deep depression now, so.
Yeah, well, and it's all because of Shinji, right? Her and her own hubris, but ultimately Shinji.
I think it's the hubris and the weird family life that's got her in the end. Shinji is not helping, that's for sure. Especially since Shinji has now become like just completely passive, tell me what to do guy, which is, I guess, what they need for the pilot, isn't it? Gendo's plan has worked with Shinji.
So I read ahead a little bit on this episode. So much happens, right? So many things get explained, but also there was some stuff that I didn't know if I was reading into. I just did some searching, and there is a common theme here, because the biggest thing that happens in this episode is that Rey is inside of her Eva suit, and she gets penetrated by an angel, essentially. Like an angel comes inside of her, and I didn't mean it that way, but like goes into her body, and she like fills up, and the Eva like starts to explode, and then it implodes, and there's a whole bunch of things going on. But as I'm watching this, and I'm thinking Rey is potentially Shinji's mom, and here's just like it's like a pregnancy theme that's going on. Like she's being literally impregnated by this angel, and it's not just from this one scene, but apparently there's like a whole theme on it. I found like a whole wiki article about how Rey is being impregnated in this particular scene by this angel, and that it's got all these other deeper psychological meanings based on everything that we're starting to understand about Shinji.
Well, we dig that stuff in the States too. See, the Alien film series, which is also has the bizarre alien impregnation is like the primal fear of those movies, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point. And it's the only ones where the women usually make it out alive.
Right. And hey, this time, was it 2 years after this, 1 or 2 years after this, you get Alien Resurrection, which is the weirdest, freakiest alien movie. I would still I think I'm still going to put that as the weirdest, freaky alien movie.
Okay, I'm still trying to get through the TV series.
Oh, I've heard that you should probably stop from people. Because it starts off, it seems quite good, and I've been told it peters out like pretty heavily, which might be why you're having trouble finishing it.
Well, if I can get all the way through an Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion, then I don't know. I feel like I can handle one season of Alien, because seasons now are like 8-10 episodes. Seasons for this show was what, like 26 episodes, and that was even short. That was cut short.
Yeah, even with the lower budgets, though, the angel attacks are getting increasingly more psychedelic. I mean, this is just like a weird cord of light that they start, Rey starts blasting with her rifle. So that's pretty trippy stuff.
Also, in this episode, all of a sudden, everyone starts becoming a poet. Everyone's talking about loneliness and pain and crying, and I don't know. It felt like a whole bunch of people were getting, like in the real world in 1996, were getting things off their chest through this show as a vehicle. But it was a little bit heavy-handed, if you compare it to all the episodes that came before this, right? So this is Shinji, and he says, "Misato, I can't cry anymore. I can feel the pain, but the tears don't come." And it's one of those things where someone comes up to you and they say something really sad, because the expected response is be like, "Oh, tell me more. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tell me more." And I was just thinking, as I'm hearing Shinji, like, "Shut up, Shinji. We're all over you. There's only 3 episodes left. We don't need anything else from you. Just go back and be sad somewhere else. Like, go run away on a train again."
I mean, they blew up half the city in this, in the past few episodes. The city was like, as much as I was like, oh, well, it seems like it's functioning like a normal Japanese city, it is starting to break down now, like half it's blown up, people are evacuating, like Tokyo 3 is becoming like its own weird wasteland,
Yeah, even the penguin's depressed. Like Pen is just laying there depressed. This episode, every single person is depressed and breaking down and crashing out. So it's not just the city, it's all the characters.
But yeah, you get such a psychedelic angel battle, don't you? With a human sacrifice that now has to be balanced. That was one of the big takeaways here. I mean, obviously the whole dummy plug and clone thing, but also just the Seal's like, "Oh, she sacrificed herself. We have to balance that with another human sacrifice." I'm like, that's about the creepiest thing you can say.
Well, and I guess that's why they have so many Reys, to keep doing this cycle over and over again. But then there's a bridge between that. So I guess that's the big event, right? This angel comes down, penetrates through the Evangelion suit into Rey, and then Rey is somehow it's being tapped into her mind. So she sees herself like floating, and then there's another version of her that's like sinking in water, and all of a sudden Rey has emotion out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden Rey's got emotion again for the first time. And as soon as she feels that, has an ability to keep the angel inside of her mind. And if she keeps it inside her mind, then when she explodes, then it also kills the angel with it. Am I getting that right? Because again, I need someone to spell it out for me here.
That's roughly, I think, what we're getting here. Let me have a look. Just to kill the angel, Rey decides to let herself explode while inside the Eva with the angel. So, yeah, okay. I think you're on the correct page there. Yeah, I guess at this point we're getting so much insane cross-cutting and flashes. I mean, this is the epilepsy television. Okay, I know Pokemon got the got all the press for being the show that causes you epilepsy, but this one can definitely give you seizures.
I'm trying to figure out just the physics and the rules of this world. Again, we're in the last 3 or 4 episodes, so maybe it's pointless. But if an angel is able to enter your mind and then you die or you explode while an angel is in your mind, that kills an angel. I don't know. It just seems a little bit too easy.
Well, I guess it's about where the consciousness is, because at the end, with all the floating Reys, Ritsuko makes it clear that, I mean, she knows she's going to piss off the Seal and NERV by destroying all of the clone bodies, but she's like, "I'm not murdering anything. There's nothing in there. There's only one Rey soul, which we have now transferred into a new Rey. So I'm just getting rid of all the golem."
Well, there's something that happens before this, right? So okay, we're reading ahead a little bit too far. Pen gets depressed, and then it cuts to Ritsuko Ikagi, basically like the blonde scientist lady, and she's standing nude in front of these seal screens, I guess. And also, this scene reminds me, this little room where they have all these floating screens. It reminds me of Demolition Man. When Demolition Man has like a little Illuminati meeting, it's one guy in the room, and then there's like all these little panels. In this one, it's just audio and it has numbers on it, but it looks exactly the same layout, the same concept, and everything. And they're dressing her down, like literally. She's like standing nude in front of them, and I can't remember the exact line, but it's like, this process is not meant to degrade you or something. And it's clearly that. And then they even tell her that, oh, by the way, Akagi or Akari is the one that volunteered you for this. We wanted Ray, but instead, like, he put you up for this, and to be like dressed down. And that, I think, is what broke her. That was the reason that she's like, all right, screw this. I'm gonna go get Shinji. I'm gonna go show Shinji everything that's going on here, and I'm gonna like blow stuff up. It was that moment because I guess she felt like Ray was picked over her, and it kind of was the same dynamic of how Asuka is broken because Shinji got picked over her. So now we've got like almost the same thing, but it's Ritsuko is mad that Ray got picked over her, right?
She also makes the weird decision of doing the same thing her mom does, even though she hates her mom, because mom kills Ray 1 and then commits suicide. Ritsuko destroys all the clone Rays, and which don't have a soul. So I guess that's a different. So Ray 1 had some kind of soul in it, whereas these clone ones do not. But yeah, she did some gnarly things to her career and standing and all that sort of stuff inside of this organization. Once you burn things down, they don't like you so much anymore.
Okay, you're referencing like the coolest shot of the whole, not just the episode, maybe the series, but first it shows this graveyard of Evas, but they look like these huge giant, like human skeletons. They're all smoldering in these kind of red channel pits. Like there's hundreds and hundreds of them, and then they come into this little room that has hundreds of little Ray clones just floating around, nipples and all, in this weird orange solution, but they're all
that is director's cut. I noticed that when watching the non-director's cut, the nips go away.
They decided, they were like, we need a director's cut. We need nipples in this scene, otherwise people aren't going to understand what's going on. and it was weird because that was the first time that I think they gave the American exposition. It was like, oh, they are clones. 100% Ray is a clone. There's a whole bunch of different, they even spell it out for you. They describe it. They say that they're basically using all these different bodies, for, I guess, like an organ harvesting, like they're just spare parts if they need them. But then also whenever they run out of a Ray, they could just use another Ray, except that Ray is the only vessel that can let an actual human soul in, and not the Eva itself. So you have to have a Ray inside an Eva in order for a human soul to go into it.
Right, because all those dummy plugs from the past episodes, it seems they actually had a Ray clone in there, but without the soul part. So I guess that's why it didn't work properly.
I guess so. And is this one of those things where they're retrofitting things that had happened and explaining them now? Like, is this like retcon a little bit?
Well, when we had our episode a few episodes ago, and it showed Shinji's mom actually, dying or whatever happens, we noted that she takes Shinji to work that day. We don't actually see what happens. So I guess, it's like the Tron thing. Maybe she got like digitized into the system or something, because it seems that her soul is intact and being used to power Ray Golem's clones. That's what I'm extrapolating, at least.
Golem homunculi. I think this actually fits the definition of homunculi better than golem at this point. If it's an empty shell that's waiting for a soul to come into it.
Okay, because so I know you know more about this, but I was making a distinction that a homunculi is something constructed with a fake soul, or a golem is an empty vessel to put like a real soul or a fake soul into, I guess. So
it gets into the little potato here, but the golem also specifically needs to have like a magical sigil or writing or something that turns it on and off. So
we got plenty of those in the show.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess if anything, the Evangelion suits would be the golem, I think. but really a homunculus is can be organic or inorganic. It's usually like some kind of an organic like vessel, and it's used to attract the soul. So
Well, now that we
like,
know, let's say now that we know Avas are biological, at least they are. They said all the mech stuff is just a covering. So that pit of discarded Avas is basically a bunch of like failed homunculi experimentation then.
yeah, absolutely. So those were all these huge, giant Nephilim homunculi creatures, which is a lot of cool buzzwords to say together and actually have real context for it.
It kind of fits into the show, doesn't it?
I guess. I mean, it's one of those things too, though, that if this is really what it's been about the whole time, why the hell are we waiting for the last, few episodes to get into all this, man? Like, this could have been episode 1 and then expanded on this. I don't know.
You got to put it into the Japanese culture, the anime landscape at the time. This is kind of a subversive stealth mech show. For the first 6 episodes in particular, it's like, oh, this is one of the best mech shows ever.
Right,
and then it gets kind of more fun. Hey, this is a fun mech show now. And then the switch just turns, right? And but the thing is, all those clues were in those earlier episodes, right? It was in the baking, but you have to get all the fans in, like, hey, there's these cool mechs, they're having cool battles, there's teenagers doing teenager things. And now these last 10 episodes, it's like, where goes the rug?
Yeah, everyone's suicidal, everyone's a clone, there's got like angels or eating each other. That you have no idea that any of this is happening by episode 3 or 4. No idea.
And I'm starting to wonder, I do have notes about, like where like a lot of the secrets were to be revealed and all that sort of stuff in a different structure, maybe a more conventional structure. And maybe the second half of the series is, Anno's subversion of that, just being like, no, we're going for full weird and dark. We're not having fun anymore.
I like the idea that it's subversive, that they had to slip in normal mech stuff and then they were able to get all this other stuff out. I appreciate that.
Because even now I go into the hard off, sorry, that's the actual name of a used store in Japan, as I think I mentioned before, or the 7-Eleven when they're having one of the lottery tickets. I mean, you see Evangelion stuff around, and before we start watching, I'm like, oh, it's the mech show that's supposed to be smart. That's what I thought of when I would see the figures and all those sort of things in stores. Oh, that's supposed to be the smart mech show that gets like dark and weird and confusing.
I don't know if is smart the right word for Evangelion?
Detailed?
I don't know if it requires you to really, because so much of, again, like I'm dumb. Maybe that's the problem, is I'm too dumb for it.
Well, I think we're following the tracks pretty well. I mean, we're still making a few inferences. Part of the conceit of doing this show the way we're doing it is that we don't really know what's up ahead. I mean, we know one episode up ahead because we're recording back to back today. But we don't know how this thing ends, which I think is helpful for taking it apart. Anyone's dumb watching something when what they haven't finished yet, because even if they have a smart idea, it's a guess that could be wrong. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, and I've been trying my best not to read ahead. And then this one kind of ends with so we got Akari, who's Shinji's dad, right? It's hard to keep the names all together. So Akari
I think they usually go Gendo. Akari's like his first name, but yeah, Gendo. That also sounds like a good like villainous name for him too. Gendo,
like a Zelda villain,
right?
So Gandalf or whoever. He's talking about man. I like what he was saying. But he said mankind found God, and he tried to make God his toy. And for his arrogance, God punished man, and God ends up leaving, and now he's lost. And man keeps trying to resurrect God, but God is gone. Like, God is not here anymore. And they even show a little symbol from like the nerve center that says something about like God in heaven.
Yeah, and it seems Gendo's deal is to push humans into some kind of evolutionary push forward. Like maybe he's like, if we can't join with the gods or become one of the gods, we're going to evolve ourselves to become more than gods, which kind of is, I mean, hey, that's modern, like high level technocracy thinking, isn't it?
So is that the point? The point is that he wants to create gods?
humans as gods, maybe. We merge with the Avas. It's a brand new consciousness. Hey, I mean, that's why I'm saying technocracy now. I mean, there's certainly people who are like, if we merge with the AI, we'll all become something better. We might, and if you're real hardcore, we will surpass gods, you know?
I understand it. I just don't see it because it's still every single time we see an Ava, again, they're throwing like some 14-year-old kid in these things. Like that is that how we're gonna surpass God, is by throwing a 14-year-old in a Lamborghini and being like, go win the race, kid.
Well, that's a mid-90s anime, so I'm gonna guess we're not throwing 14-year-olds in Avas, but you know, I mean, what Neuralink, that whatever happened to Neuralink? I haven't heard a word about that for a while. Maybe it didn't work.
You know, well, maybe this is actually related to using the 14-year-olds, but usually when you've got this new invasive, potentially controversial technology, it makes it a lot harder to criticize if you offer it only to disabled, only to someone that hasn't seen before, and then you can show like, oh, look, they can see now, or, you know, they haven't been able to paint because they're paralyzed, and now they can paint digitally because they can use this thing around, and it makes it a little bit easier to adopt. But also I firmly believe that right now the Neuralink, it does exist, and I think they're just using it on very small select groups of people that would be hard to criticize even if something went wrong. But the only aversion to it really is just because it requires surgery. I guarantee you, if they had a Neuralink that you could just buy and just like, it's a patch that you stick on your arm and now you got Neuralink, all of a sudden the people that are critical of it and they're like, oh, I would never in a million years get a Neuralink. The second that it's $89.99, you know, at like CVS, and you can just put it on at the 7-Eleven. Sorry, Matt. That I think that all of a sudden people would no longer have the same opinions about getting Neuralink.
Yeah, because I'm certainly on a page like, hey, I don't want to do that, but here, let's tie it into Ava. And now, I guess in this situation, we probably don't have aliens attacking. But what if it turns out you could have this technology and basically, you know, it's made. We've seen disabled people become able, that sort of thing. But it only really works if you put it into some way like at puberty. So parents would be like, oh, let me get my kids all smarted up, and that, who knows, maybe that's a bad idea. They too, because the kid's still 14, right? So you get quite a conundrum there.
I mean, they're doing worse things to 14-year-olds, at least in this country.
Yeah, but also, well, that would also, yeah, I guess with the older people and Evangelion, is the plan that, you know, only the younger can evolve or whatever. I mean, 90% of the population is dead already, so what's a few more people?
It's a consistent theme though, not just in Evangelion, but in, you know, in history too, that like usually you would have to train somebody by a certain age, otherwise they just kind of age out. Like you can't teach old dogs new tricks is actually very accurate for certain. I can't remember if this came up in a previous episode, but the StarCraft tournament in South Korea that was bigger than any other like live event, like sport. And this is in the 90s. I think this is like right around even when Neon Genesis Evangelion is airing. But they had like live StarCraft finals, and I think it was the Discovery Channel did this little documentary where they went and flew out and they measured the star player in South Korea as he's playing StarCraft, and they take like brain readings from him, and basically they were able to tell that he was operating like 7 times the speed of any adult or anyone else that was even in his class. Like they called it actions per minute, I think, is APMs. And it was, I'm just going to make up a number, but it was like 500 or like 600 actions per minute. And most people are in like 100 or 200 at the max if you're working really fast. So anyways, they're doing all these research with him, and then they check back in on him and they give him another reading after he turned like 17, I think. And it said that all of his extra abilities, like all of his abnormal abilities, dropped right back down to the baseline, and that it only exists in younger kids when they're playing this particular game in this study that they were doing. And as soon as you hit like 17 or 18, it all just goes away. And then now you're just on a level playing field.
Now, was he maintaining the skills, or did he like just kind of stop playing for a while?
He was continuously playing the entire time. It was just that at a certain age, his ability to like unconsciously make all these decisions rapidly, it just slowly started to decline and it just dropped off a cliff. And it was, I mean, I don't know how many other people that they were monitoring, but they indicated that this was somewhat typical. That and my thought as I was watching this, and it relates to this Evangelion, but it's like everyone tells kids like you're going to rot your brain or don't waste all your time playing games, and here we have actual evidence that that's the best time to be playing. Like if you're going to play video games, get them all in before you're like 17 or 18, because then you're going to suck at them even if you're really good at them. And maybe it's just the same thing for Evangelion here.
Well, I've always found like even like casual puzzle games, like has a new mechanic. Like I started playing something like a week or two ago, and you're kind of reprogramming your own brain playing that thing. Like, oh, now I have to think in this way that I usually don't, right? Or that, then you're up late at night, like playing the game accidentally in your head, right? So,
yeah, it's called Tetris syndrome.
Yeah, so it gave me a little bit of that, But when you do a game like that, you're kind of reprogramming yourself a bit, I think.
I get maybe when you're younger though, you don't have to do as much reprogramming. Like it's all somewhat new programming, so maybe it just catches on quicker. I don't know.
And I guess that's a big deal in the age thing and the Ava thing, because it has to be that little spot where you're old enough in quotations, but haven't started to lose all those pathways yet. Because the whole thing's about sync rates, right? Asuka's depressed and fussy, and she's getting single-digit numbers now.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a puberty thing, if it's a maturity thing, if it's a psychological thing. Is it some sort of occult numerological thing? Like maybe they have to be 14 because the degree in which the angels enter the planet, or who knows, right? They don't never really explain why it has to be this age. Why not 12? Why not 16? Why does it have to be 14?
See, I just draw it as puberty because with Asuka, she had her first period. That's when things started going downhill. At the same time, that's also when she got jealous, insane, and depressed. So it could be those as well, Or it could
she was fine before that happened. Like she was kicking ass. She was doing great.
Exactly. So it was a pretty quick downhill slump for her, which explains the extreme depression.
I mean, if that were known, I mean, it seems like they could have. Again, these are the children that we are relying on to save the planet, right? It's not just a 14-year-old. It is a 14-year-old that you've entrusted to save the entire world. So I don't know. Maybe they have to go through extra regimens. Maybe maybe a hysterectomy would be in order for someone that you're completely relying on to save the entire planet. I don't know. Is that horrific to even suggest?
I don't know. Keep in mind, back in episode 8 or 9, when we were like, "Oh yeah, Asuka, she's fun, right?" And then she just she just hints at a dark seeker, and we're like, "Oh, I guess that's going to come up as plot later." We didn't really pick up on that was going to destroy her completely, which is one of the subversions of the show. Because I think I mentioned last episode, Anno's whole thing was you're never supposed to do anything bad to that character in a mech anime, so we're going to.
She's still the most interesting character.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's interesting. That's the thing. The show is very good at this point, but most of the fun is drained out, right? It's not fun anymore.
Yeah, no, it's not fun anymore. But I do think like she's the most interesting, maybe followed by Rei, and then fill in randomly every other character, and then Shinji at the bottom.
Okay, that sounds about right. Shall we put a Rei 3 into this one for today? Or if you got something else?
Hold on. This one also in the preview for the next episode, it was all like animatics. It wasn't actually illustrated or anything. It wasn't animated.
Yeah, they probably hadn't finished the episode yet, had they?
Yeah, that's what my first thought, but we haven't seen them do that, I don't think, in any previous episode.
I think the one leading up, I think the preview for the Asuka episode did have some of the flashing still imagery stuff, but yeah, it hadn't gone just to unfinished.
But this one has like little pieces of paper cut out, and they're on like watercolor backgrounds, and then there's just like a static image that you'll see for a little bit. So it looked enough where I was thinking, oh, maybe aesthetically they did this on purpose because it looks cool. And then after enough of it, I was like, wait a minute, they don't actually have this done yet, do they?
They ran out of money there. And I maybe I mentioned on the Occult Disney podcast, but yeah, I did finally just straight up ask my wife, "Hey, when was Evangelion on TV in the 90s?" She was like 6:30 p.m. So this is your family dinner time show.
Basically,
or the news. You can put on the news if you want as well, I guess. But
and the preview was just Shinji's emotional supports are all gone, but he's gonna get a new one, and it was like, why are they still pushing Shinji's story? This is not Shinji's show anymore. It kind of was when it started out because he was the protagonist that you were following.
He was our entry character, yeah.
But he's kind of been like out of the picture. We don't really care about Shinji anymore, do we?
I mean, he's always been depressed, but he's in his own weird, just kind of disassociated depression at this point.
Whatever. Right? Let him just go out and just go play outside, touch grass, Shinji.
Oh, he gets to play outside next episode. That doesn't turn out so well. Well, I guess we'll wind this one down because we are going to talk about that episode. So, what up on your end today?
I'll point people to here's a new project that I've been working on. You can go to beta.occultdecode.com, and if you like gematria and numerology and finding weird synchronicity patterns, it's just like a series of tools that I've been working on for the last year or so. But it's got typical gematria calculators in it, but you can do cross-cipher searching. It's got a little movie explorer that'll automatically break down the gematria values of actors' names and their character names and their birth dates and how old they were when the movie came out. And then you can analyze those dates and set midpoints. It gets very complicated, but I think I've made it very easy and approachable. So if you don't know what the heck gematria is or decoding stuff, go check it out. Just take a look at it. And again, it's at beta.occultdecode.com.
I guess I'll chase out with my binaural beats today. Head for rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com. The newest one there is The Depths of Fieldation. Give it a run. See how you sync rate with it. Send us what your sync rate is, and then we'll run it through the gematria calculator. Or I guess you can do it yourself, as you just said.
And you've said before, don't listen to the binaural beats while driving.
Yeah, but people apparently do, so maybe it's okay. I don't know. I haven't.
Just buy something. Just buy something. From Paranoid American. Just buy something. Just buy something. From Paranoid American. Get some merch, buy some art. Click that link. Add to cart, say it back. Need that print, nod your head, give consent. Buy a comic, 3 or 4. Think this thought, I want more. Buy a sticker from the store. Think this thought, I want more. Just buy something. Just buy something. From Paranoid American. Just buy something. Just buy something. From Paranoid American.
Paranoid. Yo. I scribble my life away, driven to write the page. Will it enlighten your brain? Give you the flight, my plane, paper the highs ablaze. Somewhat of an amazing feel when it's real, the real, you will engage it. Your favorite, of course, the lord of an arrangement. I gave you the proper results to hit the pavement. If they get emotional, hey, maybe your language, a game, how they playing it well without Lakers. Evade them, whatever the cost, they are the shapeshift. Snakes get decapitated, met is the apex. Execution of flame you out, nuclear bomb distributed at war, rather gruesome for eyes to see. Max them out, then I light my trees. Blow it off in the face, you're despising me for what though? Calculated and rather cutthroat. Paranoid American must be all the blunt smoke for real. Lord, give me a day away, vacate. They wait around to hate whatever they say. Man, it's not in the least bit. We get heavy rotate when a beat hits, so thank us, you're welcome. Fuck the niggas for real, you're welcome. They ain't never had a deal, you're welcome. Man, they lacking appeal, you're welcome. Yet they doing it still, you're welcome.